This is the 4th generation Toyota Yaris, and it was the 3rd most popular car in Ireland last year, and it was number 1 with the European Car of the Year jury. That's right, the Yaris is the reigning European Car of the Year.
Don't do stress at the AA. We do car insurance. Relax. Yellow and black have got your back.
If you're watching this video in Ireland, you probably won't be too surprised to hear that, because Toyota has been the number 1 car brand in Ireland in 2021. Last year, it had 4 cars in the top 10. This year so far, it already has 5 cars in the top 10. Last year, that market share was 12.5%. This year so far, it's over 20%. But what is quite surprising is the evolution of the Yaris, from what started off as a replacement to the beloved Starlet. The first generation Yaris was a fine car, but slightly embarrassing and very beloved by nuns. However, this car, now in its 4th generation, has evolved greatly. It's a very, very different car, as we'll find out. Before we move on, please do hit like, do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon to make sure you catch up with all our videos. The Yaris has grown up, beefed up, and thanks to its astonishingly good GR sibling, is now anything but embarrassing. But if you don't have the €50,000 plus for the GR version, does this regular model cut it? This model we're driving is the Yaris Luna Sport Hybrid, and that mouthful tells you it's the 3rd most tier of the Yaris specification hierarchy, and it has the best engine, which is the new 1.5 litre hybrid, which puts out 116 horsepower and has CO2 emissions as low as 88 grams per kilometre, and has the potential of returning fuel economy figures of 4 litres per 100 kilometre. What's different about this Yaris and bucking the trend of a lot of other manufacturers is the fact that they haven't decided to make this car physically bigger. Now, it is shorter than the previous generation. It does, however, have a longer wheelbase, 50 millimeters longer, and what that does is creates more cabin space. But what's different about this Yaris versus the one it replaced is that lower roofline, which makes the car look a little bit more aggressive and a little bit less silly looking. This Luna Sport model features 16-inch alloy wheels, rear privacy glass, and a 6-inch touchscreen smart entry and a push button start. And as it sits here, costs just under €25,000. The range itself starts from just over €19,000 with a 72 horsepower 1 litre petrol engine. So here's the view from the driver's seat. Starting on the right hand side, the plastics are good quality. This door trim as well is of good quality. Moving across to the steering wheel, it is quite a nice chunky 3-spoke steering wheel, and this is obviously a multi-function steering wheel, and this car does have adaptive cruise control and lane assist fitted as standard. Here are the controls for the audio system and the mobile phone as well. You can see your displays here. That's display there is the Eco Zone one that allows you to check on the efficiency of your driving, and it does add some gamification into proceedings, which is always fun, and I have had that score up to about 80 so far, which is pretty good. Here's our infotainment system. It does have the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There is one standard USB-A port here, and the climate control does have normal buttons, which will be welcome to those who prefer those over touchscreens. So here is the Cvt Transmission, which is much better than we drove in the Yaris Cross. And here are your drive modes. So here you can obviously select whether you want eco or power. Most people will leave it in normal. Plus you have the facility to switch into EV mode if it's available, which will allow you to drive fully in electric mode, which is handy for urban settings outside schools and the like. Luggage space in the Yaris is okay. It's by no means best of class. It has 286 litres of luggage capacity. That title is probably going to be claimed by the new Skoda Fabia, which has 380 litres. However, it is quite deep. It has 700 millimetres of depth in it, so it is quite useful, if not the biggest in the class. I think what's most surprising about my few days so far in the Yaris is just how much better it is to drive than the previous generations. This is a real improvement. The Yaris was never a bad car to drive, of course, but it certainly wasn't anyway exciting, and this car is just a bit more fun. I know that they've made it 37% stiffer, and you can feel that it holds the road better, and it's certainly more entertaining, has better steering, and that Cvt transmission, which I was pretty critical of in the Yaris Cross, it just seems to fit better here. It just seems to work better here. It doesn't seem to hunt as much. Now, granted, mind you, if you stamp on the accelerator and put your foot down, it will get a little bit muddled sometimes, but overall it's pretty responsive, and you know, fuel economy in particular is very strong in this car. Looking at the dials, I'm averaging 4.5 litres per 100 kilometers, which is very good, and with over half a tank left, I have about 400 kilometers of range left in the tank, so it really is sipping fuel. So look, you can kind of see why the Yaris is so popular. It was always popular for a variety of reasons, but if you look at it overall, this segment has absolutely collapsed. No one is buying these small super minis anymore, but people are still buying the Yaris, and in increasing numbers with this new generation. So look, in conclusion, is this the best car in the class? Certainly the sales figures would indicate such, and Irish buyers are a shrewd bunch, and you know, I think that's really difficult to see anything rivaling the Yaris anytime soon. It is certainly the best in class, and we know there's new stuff coming. We know the Skoda Fabia is getting rave reviews and will be particularly good, so that will rival it, but nothing, I don't think, will come close to the numbers that Toyota produced with this Yaris. So yeah, Yaris is best in class, not just because of sales figures, but because it ticks really every box. It's great to drive, its kit is good, this hybrid engine is very, very good, and it's just a nice place to be. I'd have no shame in driving this car, and I couldn't necessarily, I've always said that about the Yaris. That's it for this week. Do check in next week, we'll be bringing you more reviews. Please do like this video, please subscribe, and of course hit that bell icon if you don't want to miss any of our reviews. Take care.